Today's episode is all about my top team communication tips and tools. Try saying that 5 times. Top team communication tips and tools. Yes. But last week I talked about my 5 delegation do's and don'ts for baby bosses or baby entrepreneurs. And today I want to dive a little bit deeper into some really tangible tips and tricks I have, like which communication platform we use, if we use WhatsApp or not, what types of meetings we host, because I think this might be really valuable to you because I see so many people making these mistakes and it drives me insane. None of that means I do it perfectly, by the way. I'm always still figuring shit out. We all just keep on learning. But I do think inside of this episode, there's going to be a few really good tips for you if you are a new baby CEO who wants to get better at managing a team. Hello, and welcome to Fail to Win, a show where we love to make mistakes and learn from them so you can turn your passion into profits and live life on your own terms. I'm Amy van der Putten from FastForwardAmy, your host and coach, and I'll bring you a new episode with simple strategies every Tuesday. So one of the first things I think everyone should know is you don't need to be in meetings as much as you are currently in meetings if you have new team members. And yes, you need to plan them. At a certain point in my business, I was hiring quickly, growing quickly. The only thing I seemed to be doing was being in meetings or being on coaching calls with clients. And I felt like I wasn't getting a lot done, and neither was my team. And then I mapped it out, how many meetings we had and who was in which meetings and what that was costing me. And it blew my mind. And I realized, holy moly, we shouldn't be in this many meetings. I also worked with a few mentors and coaches who coached me through that time, and I realized that we really needed to drastically reduce meeting time because I actually needed to spend more time in my zone of genius. And I also started feeling really, really drained after all of these meetings. So where I used to have a sales meeting on a Monday and Tuesday was like a marketing meeting and Wednesday was like a coaching meeting or whatever, I flipped it all around and I created Tuesday meeting afternoon. Just 3 hours for meetings. I scaled back the time for meetings. And now every Tuesday afternoon we have the forward meeting. Forward meeting is a meeting with all of our full-time team members. Sometimes when it's needed, a freelancer will come in depending on what we're talking about. Once a quarter in the first half hour of that meeting, I'll have my full freelance team present as well, so I can give some updates about where we're headed. And the forward meeting is my meeting. This is 2 until 3 on a Tuesday afternoon. And I talk about the projects, the strategy, the vision, where we're headed, give updates about important numbers. Once a month, we look at KPIs. This is the forward meeting. This is my meeting. And then we have 4 more time slots, which are project time slots, which my team can book in with me or with each other. For example, let's say we have an event coming up. It could be an event meeting of 30 minutes, stuff like that. We don't have set meetings for all of the different departments or whatever, because, after a while, you shouldn't be having to meet every week about all of the different things. Let's say you're developing a new product. It could be that's one of those meetings. If you do need more strategy time, we've looked at if we're really developing something big or we're creating a yearly plan, we might, block the entire afternoon or the morning for that if we need more time. But we have stepped away from doing hour-long meetings by default and taking full days or every day for meetings. What that means is we actually have meeting-free days. For example, for us, Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays are actually meeting-free days. And on Friday, we often do a short wrap-up meeting, but that is not, it only takes half an hour. It's basically to wrap up before the weekend to see if anyone needs anything or if there's anything planning operations-wise that we need to go over. Do we sometimes make exceptions? Sure, I do. Every 6 months, I have performance reviews with my team. Sometimes I have an accountant meeting that can't be done on a Tuesday, so I'll do it on a Friday. But I will never put meetings on a Thursday or a Wednesday or a Monday. And that already in and of itself is a huge win. So my first team communication tip and tool would be to install a forward meeting. That's your meeting instead of just always doing everything with everyone. And then also encourage your team to schedule in meetings in those time blocks with you if they need you, but you don't need to be leading and planning every meeting. So schedule in a forward meeting. That's my first tip. And then my second tip would also to use a meeting template for all of your meetings. I'll gift you mine if you want me to. So I started realizing that meetings became really, really draining. And it felt like I was always pulling the ideas and pulling the initiative. And it made me so tired to always be the person, it's like carrying everything. And I would be so drained at the end of the day. And then I started realizing, like, hold on, Parkinson's law states that we could do this in a shorter amount of time. So I reduced hour-long meetings to half-hour-long meetings. And I introduced meeting templates for the meetings, so that now the person who sets up a meeting and who needs advice actually has to fill it out, make a calendar, link resources, set a target for the meeting, book a meeting room virtually or offline. And it also needs to be added to the meeting invite, which means that, for example, on a Monday, I can take some time at the end of the day to prep my Tuesday meetings, so that in those meetings, we are much faster, better prepared, we know what's expected, and we get a lot more done in that half hour, thus making your meetings shorter, and more effective. If you want my meeting template, all you need to do is go to Instagram, to my FastForwardAmy account, and just simply DM me the word meeting template, all one word, and I'll send you my meeting template that you can use for your team. Make it your own. There's no right or wrong with this. I'm sure there's many templates that are far better. This works for us, and it's also helped me to give a lot of ownership back to my team. So meeting templates, definitely the shit, and I'll also link it in the description of this episode. The next tip/tool I want to give is, I cannot believe, and maybe this is you, so I apologize in advance, but I can't believe how many people run their business through WhatsApp. Holy shit. I really can't. My team and I, we don't WhatsApp about work. We have a Slack channel. We use that for work. We have one WhatsApp group, which is for fun stuff after hours if someone wants to share a personal update, like, hey, I got engaged, for example. But we just use Slack, and we've divided our Slack into different channels about sales and launches, or about courses and coaching, or operations. And we just do all of our communication there. What I notice is that when you are starting out as an entrepreneur boss, baby CEO, is that you might always be working on your business, but your full-time team might not necessarily be. And it will probably drive a lot of people crazy, including you after a while, that at any given time of day and night, there are work messages popping up on WhatsApp. So for me, it just doesn't work. For most of my clients, it doesn't work. And I highly urge people to use something like Slack. I think there's like Discord and other things as well. And separate your team communication from WhatsApp. It's going to be much easier to find things. You can create threads, you can create posts, you can link all of your information. It's just going to be much easier. My fourth tip would be to get a really good task manager where you can make sure all of the tasks are, so that you're not always just asking each other to do stuff, but you can also just simply give each other tasks. We currently use Notion. I know a lot of people have become a really great fan of Notion. Sorry to the Notion gods and the Notion lovers. I'm not a huge fan. I think sometimes it's really slow. I hate that it doesn't work offline, but I will admit there's a lot of upside to Notion as well. You can customize a lot of stuff. I like the layout of a lot of things. There's a lot of emojis involved. I think ClickUp or something like that is more professional and definitely more, applicable for the phase our business is in. Personally, I think with Notion, you can do a lot in the beginning, but it's the upside of Notion is that you can customize a lot, but that's actually also the downside if you're just getting started. Whatever you do, I would just make sure you have a task manager, be that a Google Sheet you all use. If you're just 1, 2, 3 people, that works fine. Be it Asana or Trello or Monday or Notion or ClickUp, just make sure you are sticking to the thing and actually logging all of your tasks and creating review tasks for each other and stuff like that, because I think it just really helps to find everything you need. Okay, what am I thinking? What else is important? Well, if it's urgent, pick up the phone, call each other. I think the tip of including meeting-free days in your weeks is really good, the meeting templates. And what's also, I think, important for your energy is that you just appoint a meeting lead, and it doesn't always have to be you. It's not because you're the boss of the business that you have to be the boss of every meeting. And something else we do in the meetings, by the way, is we have people state beforehand what type of meeting is it? Is it a brainstorm? Is it a decision meeting, a planning meeting? So that I actually also know, what do they need from me? Do they need me to brainstorm and think out of the box? Do they need me to take a lot of really hard decisions so that we really know with which mindset we're walking into the meeting? So, okay, these were some of my top communication tips and tricks. A lot of other things about how to communicate about mistakes and stuff like that I talked about in last week's episode. So definitely go and check that out if you haven't already. To recap today, well, first of all, don't forget to grab my meeting template. It's going to save you and your team so much time and get you much faster results. Click the link in the description or go to my Instagram and DM me the word meeting template, all one word. And to recap, what we talked about today is 1, install fixed time frames for meetings. For me, my forward meeting is a holy meeting. 2, use meeting templates. 3, templates. I don't know how to pronounce this. 3, use a communication channel that, please, is not WhatsApp, like Slack. And 4, use a task manager consistently in your team. It's going to make everyone's life a lot nicer. Okay. Talk to you next week. And if you have more questions about team delegation tasks as you grow to a 7-figure business, just reach out to me. And also remember that I have my my retreat coming up with my millionaire mastermind clients. And if you're an online entrepreneur, you're at a couple 100K, but you want to grow to 1 million this year, and this stuff plus so much other stuff is exactly what you need to grow to 1 million, reach out to me. DM me the word millionaire to chat if you might be a fit for my mastermind. And then maybe we'll go on a retreat together and I'll be your coach for the upcoming year. Okay. All you need to do is just DM me the word millionaire and I'll talk to you there. And then we'll set up a sales call and all of it. Okay. Bye.